In this video, I'm going to cover 12 things that will improve your confidence and will help you get good at dating. The first one is respect yourself. Treating yourself with respect. How do you do that? Well, you set boundaries and keep them. You keep promises to yourself. You treat yourself well. You don't put yourself down. Those are some of the areas that you can start with to treat yourself with respect. If you don't treat yourself with respect, then you're going to attract people who won't treat you well either. So setting boundaries, that is very similar to self-respect, but setting boundaries is extremely important because it helps you know where you begin and someone else ends. Many of us don't have boundaries. We're always overgiving and listening to others' needs rather than our own. Setting healthy boundaries, saying no, going into situations knowing where your boundaries are instead of creating them on the spot is a really good way to build your confidence, because guess what? You're walking in already knowing what you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate, or not even toleration, like what you would like to do and what you wouldn't like to do, right? So you have that self-confidence right away. If you're always looking outside for your boundaries and trying to figure them out, you're not really stable and it eats away at your confidence. All right, so having healthy boundaries. Number 3, know what you want and what you don't want. Now, what you don't want is usually much easier to access. We have all these bad experiences in our life that help us completely be sure we don't want certain things. Like in dating, we are sure we don't want, I was very sure when I was dating, I don't want a smoker. Like there are zero reasons why I would ever tolerate a smoker. Like I know for sure it's what I don't want, right? Clear. But I was going on so many negative experiences of past partners and bad experiences that all I was focusing on was what I don't want, but I wasn't clear on what I did want. So when it came to dating, I was attracting all kinds of riffraff until I got really clear on my relationship vision and got really clear on what I truly want. And I got ridiculous with what I wanted. And very often we think we know what we want, or we say we want a certain thing, but we say we want it because we think that's all we can have. Rewind that if you need to, because it's really important. What we do is we say we want something because we think that's all we can have. So that's basically saying you want something that you should want instead of wanting what you really want because you're scared you're not going to get it. There's a difference. So get clear on what you want. Get ridiculous. Have fun with it and write it out and think about it and dream about it. The worst that can happen is you allowed yourself to dream about what you want and you don't get it. Well, you're in no worse place than you are now, right? So, and if you're ever going to get that dream to come true, then you better fantasize about it. You better dream about it. You better feel into it, because without that, you're never going to get it in the first place. So you have to take the risk of being vulnerable with yourself and really admitting to yourself what it is you truly, truly want, rather than just focusing on what you don't want. Number 5, and that is joy. You want to really focus on your joy. What gives you joy? What we are used to is working, producing, and goal setting and getting to certain levels in our lives. And we're working all the time. Where's your joy? The feminine gets fed by joy. So live in your joy. I recently learned this myself. Again, I keep learning this lesson, to focus on joy. If I just focus on my joy, the rest of my life falls into place. Trust me, I'm not going to just focus on joy and never work. That's what you think you'll do. But none of us actually do that, right? it's that hedonistic lifestyle of only eating bonbons and watching TV and never working. You're not going to be like that. Trust me, because I know my audience are is women that are very ambitious. They have their stuff together in life, and what they need is more joy and more space, not more pushing to do more things. All right, number 6, treat yourself well. Get really clear on how you want to be treated by a man, but then treat yourself that way first. First, get into the vibration of what it is you want, create it for yourself, and then the man will come. Really, that's how simple it is. But you have to create what it feels like first before it can be created in reality. So we've been doing it ass backwards. We keep searching and looking and hoping for a man to show up to make us feel a certain way. No, it's backwards. Feel that way first. Do what it takes to feel that way first, and then the man will magically appear. The work is in creating the feeling first. That's where the work is. The work isn't in hunting and hoping and going for and goal setting to meet this amazing man. Number 7, create femininity in your life. What does that mean? Connect to your inner femininity. We all have masculine and feminine. Most of us, if you're a woman, you've been connecting too much to your masculine, because most of us are taught that our feminine side, our intuition, our softness, taking space, openness, vulnerability is weak, and it doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't produce, it doesn't make us money, although I'd like to argue that, but our society doesn't value those qualities. So our families, our societies, and our just habits have created a much more masculine, heavy woman than balanced. Now, the illusion of balance isn't real. So you're always kind of swinging back and forth as much as you can. But the feminine is definitely underdeveloped. I guarantee you, if you are not in a happy, healthy, passionate relationship with a masculine man, your feminine is underdeveloped. And if you're watching this, likely all of that is true. So you get to connect more to your what already exists, femininity inside of you. Do feminine things like spend time in nature, spend time in water, could even be a bath. That's why a lot of women love baths. Water is very, very feminine. Spend time with pets, which is also part of nature, of course. Spend time with other women, connecting, chatting, that connection, that feminine connection is very, very important. So those are some of the things that you can do. There are a multitude more things that you can do, but those are a good start. And allow yourself space. Give yourself that leaning back, surrendered energy around certain things that you don't have to control. And on that topic, stop trying to control everything in your life. It's an illusion anyway, and it just makes you hardened and more masculine when you're not doing that for men, it's for yourself. It doesn't feel good to be hardened and masculine. It feels much better to be soft, surrendered, and open as a feminine woman and vulnerable. And vulnerability is scary, so that's why we've learned over time to shut that down. There's lots of information online about femininity. I highly recommend that you continue researching and following your gut on feeling into that space, because that will do a lot for your dating and your confidence. Huge for your confidence. Number 8, I already spoke into it when I spoke about femininity, vulnerability. Now, hear me out here. I'm not talking about exposing yourself to predators so you're vulnerable to get hurt. No. I'm talking about emotional vulnerability. Get really clear on what it is you desire. That is intimate, and that's with no one else. That's just with yourself. And it's very vulnerable to admit, maybe you're 45 years old and you have been focusing on your career and now you want a baby, but you don't have a man. So now you have to decide to either have a baby on your own, adopt, or go quickly find a man and have a baby. And you may be telling yourself, actually, I don't need a baby. I'm fine. But in your heart, you really have always wanted children. That's a vulnerable admission to yourself, right? You're being extremely vulnerable about your desires. That is going to get you places. Why? Because if you haven't admitted to yourself that you've wanted a baby all this time and you are just going about life like you don't need it, you don't care, you're never going to get the thing that you truly desire in your heart, and you're going to end up having regrets later on in life. Now, this baby example is actually an example of several of my current clients. So I know it's out there, but it can be any example. It can be meeting the man of your dreams. It can be, building the house of your dreams. It can be anything that you desire that you've not allowed yourself to desire. So get really vulnerable with yourself and get vulnerable out there with the world in terms of emotional vulnerability, and be open to what that can bring and what softness and what deep connections that can give you, even in the dating scene. So for a quick example, you can be really vulnerable in a healthy way on a first date. You're not going to say, oh, my divorce and this and that, and start crying. That's kind of oversharing. But you can be vulnerable in this way. You can say, oh my gosh, this is my first date in 30 years. I'm feeling like I'm blushing, or I'm feeling really vulnerable. You can even say the word vulnerable, right? Instead of posturing and being like, I'm so cool, like I'm amazing, I'm fine, I'm not feeling uncomfortable at all. Like, that's not vulnerable. That's putting up a wall and being harsh and controlling everything. So start exploring being more vulnerable in a healthy way, not oversharing. That's not what I'm talking about. All right, I'm going to move on now. Shadow work is number 9. Shadow work. What does that mean? Well, to some, it means diving deep with a coach or a therapist and really unpacking trauma, unpacking your dark sides, unpacking your gremlins. But for others, it might just mean, you know what, I accept all of the gremlins and all of the dark sides of me fully. You've worked through already some of the old habits that you've had, some of the regrets. Recently I was thinking about how I still get to forgive myself for having gone through several relationships that I knew were not good for me. And I have been holding on resentment to myself all these years. I get to let that go. And the shadow of that is that I'm imperfect. And by embracing that imperfection, that's where confidence comes from. That's where confidence comes from. Like, if I am confident about all my flaws and I've accepted them, and I'm like, okay, honestly, to myself, right? In the mirror, take it or leave it. Like, these are the mistakes I made. This is just part of my life. Like, I accept them. If you can get to that place, then you will walk around confident because you've got this. You know all your shit and all your amazing stuff, and you're just owning it. Own your shadow side. And right away, if you keep denying that you have flaws or keep denying responsibility for things in the past, patterns that you might be repeating, then you're just posturing. You're just pretending to be someone you're not. And that doesn't exude confidence. It just exudes control. And when someone is exuding that they need to have control over everything, they do not look confident. Confidence is not worrying about what others think and owning the good and the bad. Okay, so that was number 9. Number 10 is love your body as it is. I know, that's really hard for some of us. We live in a current time where body positivity is really popular, and so that's a good thing. But some of us grew up in the anorexia times or body dysmorphia times. And it's not just a time, it happens all the time. But, if you're growing up, if you're an adult, you've been through some stages already, and you may have a very healthy body image, but you likely don't have the healthiest body image. Just accept your body. It is that simple. You don't have to do any more trauma work. You don't have to do any more this or that work. Just live your life. Eat food, enjoy, because guess what? Men don't care. Of course, men care that you are generally healthy. They don't, primally, they don't want to meet someone who's unhealthy who might die, because that doesn't help perpetuate the tribe if you're thinking on a primal level, right? Health and vitality are always attractive, always. But the unrealistic body image standards that we have been fed for so many decades, that is not natural. That's not normal. So enjoy your body. Start doing things with your body that really honor it, that will give you confidence, like take a dance class, or start riding your bike, or take walks every day, or I don't know, do things physically with your body. I'm not saying stand in front of the mirror and say, I love you, I love you, I love you. I mean, you can do that. It doesn't generally work because the programming against loving our bodies goes so deep. So my recommendation is do something that feels good, not just in your head saying an affirmation that you kind of don't believe in the first place, but doing something that makes your body fully feel vital and beautiful. Yoga does that for me. Swimming. I love surfing. I love water skiing. I love using my body because it's strong and it's not perfect. It really isn't. But it makes me feel in love with it when it gives me all this joy. So I highly recommend that for you, and I wish that for you. All right, we're on number 11. So number 11 is take action to improve. Don't just keep acquiring knowledge. Just like what I just said, move your body. Don't just stand there meditating or saying mantras about how amazing your body is, which it is, but your subconscious mind isn't going to believe it. Do things that feel vital and beautiful and amazing, and you're going to start believing that you are vital and beautiful and amazing. Same with taking action to improve yourself. So what I come across in my coaching is a lot of clients are like consumers. So they consume information, and even watching this video, you're consuming me talking to you, right, about expert advice about something. But if you don't implement any of these ideas and take actual action in real life, you're just staying in your head and you're actually not affecting any change. Moving into action in and of itself creates confidence. I recently learned how to surf, and I did not get confident from watching surfing videos or listening to my teacher tell me how to surf. Heck no. I was terrified to hop on my surfboard the first time I went on there, even though I had seen it 100 times or whatever, or more. My confidence came from taking lesson after lesson after lesson after lesson. Falling, smashing on the water, getting water up my nose, right? But now I have confidence. I'm not good. Trust me, I'm not good at surfing, but I have confidence because I've been improving. So the movement of doing the thing and failing forward creates confidence in and of itself. You can never create confidence by not taking action. This is a huge one. This is true for me in my business as well. When I take leaps in my business, I invest, in a new staff person, or when I take a leap of faith on something, a new coach or something like that. That is when I gain the next level. I don't just gain the next level by sitting here hoping for it. We're finally coming to number 12. But before I share with you what number 12 is, It is epic, I'll tell you that much. I want you to subscribe to my channel and hit the thumbs up button, letting me know you like this video. And if you want to be notified for any new videos that come out, which is twice a week, you can hit the bell button and you'll never miss one. All right, I'm gonna dive right into number 12. Number 12 is expect to fail. Whatever you do, expect to fail. You see, here's where confidence comes in. We think we need to learn more before we dare get out there and do anything, like surfing, like dating, right? There are parallels in every area of our life. Starting your own business, quitting your job, leaving a partner. It's the same for everything. So if you are just thinking in your head, not taking action, because you want to do it perfectly and never fail, I promise you, you're going to be stuck in paralysis for a long time before you take action. If you just boldly take action and expect to fail, then you shorten that time that it will take to get through all your failures, basically. Because guess what? The more you wait for it to be perfect, the more you're pushing out all the failures you have to endure to get through to your success. I'm sorry. You're just delaying your failures that are inevitable. You are just delaying the failures that are inevitable. So just take action now. That's all. That's all. Take action. So I invite you, the first action to take, do any number of these 12 things and actually take action on it, not just consume this video, but go out and practice. Like move your body, practice femininity, practice vulnerability, do the shadow work to accept all of you. So maybe put on a bikini instead of a full bathing suit for the first time in years. Set some boundaries. Treat yourself with respect. So set some healthy boundaries and, go and treat yourself in a manner that you have never done before. I can't wait to hear about your results. Comment below once you've implemented some of these action steps, and I can't wait to hear, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.